Man, Seinfeld's got to be like the first series that's just like a casual series about nothing.
Yeah.
Or like what? Wait. Wasn't there that like Hey Lucy? What was that about? That was an old ass show.
Those old soap operas, I have no idea what's going on with them.
Yeah.
I don't think that one was soap opera, was it? Wasn't that
Aren't they all soap
Hello
operas?
Lucy? No, that's just a sitcom, I think is what you're
Sitcom.
thinking.
Okay. So
Soap opera is like Days of Our Lives.
So soap opera is like for tugging at your heartstrings.
It's like dramatic.
Yeah, tabloid type.
Yeah,
of,
it's real life things and like real life people, and this is their
But it's
everyday,
not.
and it's because it's an everyday. It's a new episode every single day, so then it's supposed to be like, I don't know. Soap operas it's for old women.
Yeah, I honestly thought that it's weird to imagine because like that whole era of soap operas, I'm assuming it was like the 80s and the 70s and stuff. I've never seen them on TV. I didn't think they existed anymore. And then
They're still big.
Yeah, my
They're
only
so huge.
experience of them is like nowadays there's that one channel on cable that just shows all of the old 80s sitcoms on like just a loop. That's the channel my dad watches.
I was going to say, I went over to a friend's house a long time ago and I walked into his house and his mom was sitting there watching them. I'm like, that's on TV still?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, Brett's mom has them on all the time.
Infinite reruns.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Didn't you see the one with Joey Tribbiani?
Stop. Unpopular opinion, I think Seinfeld sucks.
Seinfeld's dog shit.
It's not that
good.
funny.
For its time, it was great. It was like revolutionary.
I
But,
mean, for its time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like maybe comedies evolved
for
too much
any
at this
time.
point in time.
Yeah, I feel like that's how all nostalgia is. Like when we're nostalgic about things, it's like, oh, it was just so perfect. It's like realistically, it sucked. It's just like it just encapsulated like a
Yeah,
part of you kind of thing.
It was niched up. It was
Yeah.
because Jerry Seinfeld was the biggest comedian around, and he was basing it in New York, and it was his own show that it wasn't safe. Like they just did an episode where they sit in a restaurant and talk about nothing. And that was the premise of the episode, and they weren't afraid to do that shit, so they were able to kind of get everybody on board, and everybody from New York's like, oh, that's my guy. It's New York. It's New York.
That's my
So they
guy.
all ride his dick his whole life. Like, he doesn't even make new comedy. Like,
Oh,
he put out a
man.
special that was the same special that he had like 20 years ago.
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
mean, once you're that level of success, like you don't have to do anything for the rest of your life.
You just
So
have
it's
to
like,
exist.
who really gives a shit?
The longer you
It's
live, the
just-
more money.
yeah,
you
all
make.
of
It's
a
all
sudden-
about if you have like pride in yourself and want to actually like contribute something new to society.
Yeah,
Why
but
don't you
how
just
many?
keep it going?
But how many
No.
comics out there? Sorry, I couldn't fucking say that word for whatever reason. How many comics out there could actually say they've contributed more than the Seinfeld show? So, like, even to your point, he still wins
Yes.
against like almost
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah,
changed
he had
TV
the best
forever.
show. Like it was the best show at the time. He even left on top. So
Yeah.
it's like you can't argue with that.
Yeah. Maybe my criticism is more a commentary on how different mediums of entertainment age over time. Because like you watch something that's more action based, it can look cool and still have suspense, but the special effects probably start to suck after a period of time. You could watch something romantic and all those feelings, they don't leave. That setting, if they deliver them right, can leave. But
what-
comedy is usually relative, right?
Yeah. Speaking of like things changing over the years, what I notice the most of is when I go back and watch old movies, I love the cinematography of them. The actual like the way they got certain shots, and it's all so well put together. But the VFX sucks.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's almost backwards nowadays, where now the VFX is really cool, but they don't give as much of a shit about the specific angles of the cameras
Yeah.
because they don't have to worry about it as
Yeah,
much anymore.
there's no pause. Like when in movies now, it's immediate. You're done the scene, boom, you're right into the next one. Whereas
Well, if you're
you can
Michael
start-
Bay.
yeah, especially. But like you go back and watch like an old Disney movie, and like they'll have the intro will be 8 minutes long, just a little bit of music,
Yeah.
no words, just
Mhm.
word like the writing coming down the
all the
screen,
credits, yeah.
and you're just sitting there like nothing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm just waiting for it to start, and they're completely okay with that.
Well, I feel like
that
that
doesn't
was
happen now.
Yeah, that was before when it was like a lot of work was put into these things, and it was like these people's livelihoods. So it's like all of these people. It took all like this whole team to create this one thing you're about to watch. Where nowadays it's like, who gives a fuck? They're all disposable. It's about the brand. One
Yeah.
quick brand shot, and then into the movie, right?
Yeah. You could also extend that argument though to pretty much like anything in today's era. Like if you think of everything from like its grassroots, like building a movie from the beginning, like, you know, hundreds of years ago when it first started. I don't think movies were made hundreds of years ago, but forgive me on my dates.
It's not recorded.
Everyone could kind of get to a certain level with relative ease, but only the really true talented ones could get you over that hump into like something that we could all be watching because it took that much level of nuance and ability to get there. But nowadays, it's such a gradual slope that you can put so much more on the film, but you know, that can just be whatever, that nuance still doesn't have to apply to the top, but you could have basically a watchable movie without any nuance.
Yeah.
And now that's like what you said, that could apply to so many things. You don't need nuance when the floor is so high that people can just like get on and have something watchable without putting in all that extra expertise and effort.
Yeah.
And that can, like I said, that could go for so many things.
Okay. The world's first movie, 1888.
1888. Hey,
That's crazy.
So
That's
100.
quite crazy.
No S, but we're there.
Yeah. I find like the old cinema, Charlie Chaplin and stuff like that, the tricks that they did with their cameras was like, again, revolutionary. Like they just started figuring out how to make these film cinemas and like movie picture shows kind of thing, right? But like Charlie Chaplin movies, they did some crazy camera tricks and like perspective hacks, I guess, just to create some really cool things. And it's so cool, right? But yeah, cinema is a interesting thing.
The Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
But in reality, if you are an adult watching a movie from before 1990, you're wasting your fucking time. I will never watch one because it's too boring. I've probably seen it. If I haven't, there's a good reason.
Come on,
Unless
man.
it's a Christmas movie. Christmas is the only thing that you can keep it going 10, 15, 20, 30, because it's based off this exact feeling that you're in.
What's your cutoff? Like 1990? And
maybe?
And newer you'll watch?
Yeah, probably even closer to the 2020 number. Probably close
there's
to that.
some classic 90s movies that are like
Like
they
Superbad.
hold up.
Super
Pineapple
90s?
Express.
That was like 2015.
Yeah, that's
Super
about
bad? That
that's
was
about
like
how far.
2007 or
No,
something.
Yeah, maybe you're probably right.
I know
Superbad's
it wasn't
iconic.
90s, but like
Okay,
I
so
can't think of a 90s
for
movie I'd watch.
one of the rare times, I'm gonna back Kyle on this. Like, I hate old movies. It's been one of those things that like I just don't like old movies. Now
I
I'll
don't
admit,
like new movies.
I'll admit there's exceptions. Like if anyone ever wants to sit down and watch Star Wars like original trilogy with me, I'm down.
Fuck that.
Okay, fuck you. This podcast
Yeah,
is
okay,
over.
we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
But
Shut the mics off.
but there's so many like, oh my god, it's a classic film. Like that movie fucking sucks. I was gonna go in about how much I dislike Scarface, but I think I also just hate Italian gangster movies entirely.
We've
so
talked
that
about that specifically.
yes,
already.
so that genre is just trash. But old movies that people think are like, you know, critically acclaimed. If Kyle said 1990, when you were talking, my head was thinking 2005.
Any old movie. Realistically, like some people like to rewatch movies. I don't. Like unless it's a series. Like if it, like you said, Star Wars. I'll watch the first one just so that I can kind of get my feel as I'm going through to like remember exactly how I was. But if it's a one-off, I don't care.
Okay, you guys are fucking out to lunch. Here. Popular 1990s movies. Good Will Hunting. The Truman Show.
Don't care.
Dazed and Confused.
Days
The
of Confused, I
Shawshank
could do.
Redemption.
No.
Fight Club. Schindler's List. The Big Lebowski. I mean.
Okay, so I've seen about 6 out of 8 movies you just named, and I'll tell you.
The Mask.
So we'll go to 8 out of 9 movies that you just named. I will only actually rewatch if you put those in front of me. I would watch only one of those.
I would watch all of those right
I would
now.
rewatch Days of Confused because I get high. That is it. If I get high and I'm sitting alone by myself, I turn it on every time.
No, the only one that on there that's worth rewatching if you haven't already seen it is Shawshank.
Bro,
That's the only one.
I actually just rewatched that a bit ago.
That's actually a decent movie. You know, that was
So
one
good.
because here's the thing. My lady, she loves watching movies over again. She's the opposite. She finds comfort in watching a movie she's seen 3,000 times. Now that's fine, except most of the time I want to watch something new so we can experience it together, and she's just sitting there already knowing what's going to happen, so only I'm experiencing like this new thing. But that being said, her knowledge of these older movies is extensive compared to mine. I know movies, but like things like almost all those movies you just named, I hadn't seen them until she made me. To her
I
credit,
would watch all those right now. If I had the time, I would sit down and watch them back to back.
To her credit, she knows what I like, and she can usually like pick a movie for me and be like, "You're gonna like this," and I'd be like, "Fuck that! It's old. I don't want to watch it. I have a pissy attitude because I'm a child." And she's like, "No, Dustin, please just watch it." And it turns out it's really good, and that happens way more often than not.
My problem is like Fight Club was an amazing movie,
Yeah.
but it was amazing because oh shit, they're the same person. I already know.
Spoilers, Kyle. What the fuck? Are you kidding me right now?
Wait, who's the same person? There's no way it's the main character.
That girl and Brad Pitt.
Okay, let's take it back a little bit farther. 80s classic movies.
No.
I'm going to list one right off the bat that I really like, Full Metal Jacket. That is
No.
like a classic that'll stay in my heart forever. But
Oh
other than
yeah,
that-
that's when you're feeling like when you want to really rage against, like you hate your work and you've had a terrible day and you're thinking bad thoughts. You put on Full Metal
That's
Jacket.
one of those
Okay.
movies that I've heard of. I've never watched, and I'm never going to because it's trash.
No, it's actually great.
It's not trash.
Okay, so
It's
The
trash.
Outsiders, never seen it. Trash. Old Batman. What?
The worst Batman, I think that
I
is.
think that's what is that like? Jack Nicholson is the fucking Joker.
Oh, yeah.
That's
The
tough.
original Dune.
Trash.
Once Upon a Time in America. Porky's. National Lampoon's Vacation.
This is
that
really
you got to
tough
get
list.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's a classic and a tradition. That's what I watch every
I
Christmas.
still have never seen it.
That's it.
Well, we'll talk
Actually-
about this because of foreshadowing. I'm going to tell you the best Christmas movies later on, but
Do
You
you
will
guys want
not.
to know a secret?
Yes.
I have never, ever watched a full movie of Star Wars.
what are you doing? And
What?
you call yourself a movie fan?
I have seen, what was the one with Darth Maul?
Phantom
Oh,
Menace.
the
Yeah.
one that everybody hated.
The one
I
that-
liked it, but
I think that was
everybody
like
else hated
turn
it.
of the century, like 2000s when it came out or
Yeah.
something like that. And I went
Yeah.
to go see it with my dad.
We were all
and was,
kids
like,
when it first
awesome.
came out.
Yeah.
Coming from the guy that's been like, dude, come watch Dune with me. Come watch Dune. Dune is fucking Star Wars. It's just a different version of it. Are you
I know,
kidding?
but the cinematography, bro. And their eyes. Haven't you seen their eyes? They're blue.
That's crazy.
I want to watch it just for that.
Well, even something
Watch
that you
fucking
might
Avatar.
actually care about, but in the newer Star Wars, some of their fight scenes that they'll use old footage to kind of to make it seem like it's the same time. Because the one with Darth Vader attacking getting Princess Leia, the remake one that they had at the end.
Yeah, okay, so Kyle's talking
Just
about
sounds like they're cutting corners.
Kyle's talking about Rogue One.
Yes, Rogue One.
Rogue One is tied into the very first Star Wars movie, as in it takes place just before. So they used some old footage and they used kind of like CGI to bring back actors that had died and de-age Princess Leia so that they could fit it all into the movie and make it so you could watch them back to back and it would kind of fit.
I mean, I just listened to all of those words that you said, but I was so uninterested.
Oh, this guy's talking so much shit.
I feel like my wife is talking to me right now because every time I bring up Star Wars, this is a conversation.
Honestly,
So
my
like, didn't
lady's
they
the
like?
same way.
Aren't they sellouts? Like, they like Disney owns them now.
Yeah.
Couple of little bitches.
George Lucas, he's the sellout.
Yeah, because like, didn't they like basically? They're gonna make a Star Wars movie every Christmas.
I
till, like,
fucking
the
hope
end
so
of time.
because if you guys want to know the top 10 Christmas movies of all time, it's it's
fucking
whatever
better not
movie
be Star Wars.
it's whatever movie Star Wars releases that year. I'm telling you now. They put out one every other year. I'm in it. Let's go.
Yeah, that's their marketing tactic. It's the only way to bring in viewers. It's
Because-
like, yeah, big Christmas event.
And then they sell all the merch for Christmas.
Yeah.
All the kids get the Lego set.
Yeah,
Like
Star Wars Christmas sets. Hell yeah.
When you go into Walmart during a Star Wars Christmas, every single toy, it's the exact same fucking toy. They just put a Star Wars logo
Yeah,
on it.
literally just slap a sticker
Yeah,
on it.
it's nothing different.
Yeah.
You could get that all year round without it.
Speaking of movies
Cheaper.
coming out on Christmas Day, have you ever been the kind of guy that, like, what do you think of families that get together on Christmas Day and they just go to a movie theater?
Sociopaths.
Yeah, that seems
have, like-
insane.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah. They're all probably murderers and they need to keep up with appearances. So they go see a movie on Christmas.
Right?
This is where I was, I swear.
It's bizarre to me that anybody goes to a Christmas Day movie release.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's like people that try to go to restaurants on Christmas days. Like, are you?
I also didn't know that was a thing.
Some people. I mean, there's like
What the fuck's wrong
very
with people?
there's very rare restaurants. I can't actually think of any in our area that are open on
Yeah.
Christmas Day. That's usually the one day everyone closes. but like, bro,
I can understand like going to a restaurant for like Christmas Eve,
I
going
think
out for a little dinner or something like
I
that.
think
but-
places like McDonald's are open though.
Oh yeah, they're like open fucking
See,
28/7.
I could understand going to like a liquor store on Christmas Day. Like, yeah, you need a little bit of holiday cheer to keep it going.
Back when I used to drink, that was the one thing. It's like you wake up Christmas Day, you don't go to the tree, you go to the fridge.
Yeah,
Well, absolutely.
that's why I get up
Drinking.
early.
Absolutely. There's a market for people that drank all of their Christmas booze on Christmas Eve and they have to top up.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's a
Yeah,
big market
as
for
is
that.
tradition.
Absolutely.
That's my family's Christmas tradition.
Just getting wrecked.
Before we leave this Christmas movie topic too far, I am going to bring out this list that I compiled for you guys.
Before our
And-
tangent gets too far away, can't bring it back naturally.
If there is one thing that this podcast will teach you is that you never listen to top anything Dustin says. Every time he makes a
What are you
list,
talking about?
it's
I avoid
what list?
all lists so that I can listen to Dustin.
What is Kyle talking about? He's talking
I'm
shit.
still pissed about your top 75 list. I'm
Okay.
still pissed about
Okay.
the top 75.
First off, top 50, so you don't even know what you're talking about. Number
All of
one.
them. All of them.
Number two, that was literally okay. So
Like our
I
first
also
ever
really
podcast.
enjoy how you're cold shouldering him, and talking directly to like the viewer
because
who's
they don't
important.
need they don't need to listen to Kyle. Kyle's a waste of your fucking ears right now. It's a little nostalgia trip. Our very first episode we ever did was just purely audio, and it was Dustin's top 50 NBA list. It's a little out of date now because Giannis is a little bit better than I said he was, and he's going to be higher on this list should I redo it right now. And Kevin Durant lower.
the
that
guy that
being
just
said-
dropped 51, he's MVP candidate right now.
Okay,
Yeah, keep going.
wait.
Anyways.
You listed off 50 people nonstop on a podcast?
we talked about every single
No
one.
fucking wonder we don't have viewers. They're expecting another 50 list.
Yeah, everyone's like,
that was the
that's
tone
how we
setter.
went from 9 to 95 is we stopped with the list.
But we're bringing one back anyway. Okay.
Yeah, so I hear you have a list.
Okay, so this is the top 10 Christmas movies of all time. This is the official list. I'm not actually like giving you my opinion in this. I'm actually just telling you how it is so that I know you were wondering. This is the answer.
This
There's
is not an opinion piece. This
No.
is like factual.
This is factual. I can pull the numbers,
Yeah, facts,
but,
no feelings.
but
Okay.
realistically, we all know that my list is 100%.
I'm going to
and
see how
there's no
many of
flaws.
them I can shit talk.
You know what? Number 10, kind of a more modern movie. You've probably...
Are these all Christmassy movies? Or just movies that do well around Christmas time?
They're Christmassy movies.
Okay.
I did not include any movies like Die Hard
Why
that
not?
came out
Good.
during Christmas because it's a waste of your fucking time. And Die Hard sucks. That's a
Now
different
we have a
take.
Better not
chance.
be a fucking single Star Wars movie in there then.
That was a joke. There's no Star Wars. I thought about it. I'm like, that's a shitty list.
That'd be hilarious.
Star Wars 1,
Yeah.
Star Wars 2, Star Wars Christmas.
Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, like a little 2-minute short on Disney Plus or something like that.
Yeah, Olaf's Christmas Adventure. Just all the like spin-offs for Christmas time. Okay.
Okay, let's hear this.
Okay, so coming in at number 10, like I said, a little bit more of a modern movie. You might not have seen it because it's relatively new. Arthur Christmas. Have you
Oh,
heard?
that was all right.
That was
That
decent.
was okay.
That was good.
All
I
right, number
enjoyed it.
10. You're off to a good start.
I enjoyed that movie. It was a good
I
time.
don't know how you're gonna go up from there, but
Number 9, Office Christmas Party. Have you not seen that?
Dog
it's fucking
shit.
hilarious. Are you
It was
kidding me?
so
Is
bad.
that
I
with the
literally fell
guy-
asleep twice.
Dude, Kyle's so
Twice.
wasted. It's hilarious.
so the show Workaholics, is it that guy from the show Workaholics?
I think so. TJ.
I don't know his name. I just
I think
know.
that's his name. But yeah,
Um,
the movie's fucking hilarious. You definitely need to watch it. It's a great movie. It's
okay.
jokes.
Moving
Kyle's
on.
an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Just ignore this guy. Coming in at number 9, kind of a similar movie to be
You
honest.
mean number 8?
Oh my, yeah, I'm at 8. Fuck, number 8.
It's
Thanks,
a good
Matt.
list.
Thank you, sir.
It's going
Number
good
8,
so far.
The Night Before. It's a Seth Rogen movie. It's kind of like a similar movie, but it's Seth Rogen.
It's almost the
never seen
exact
it?
same movie.
But it's Seth
And
Rogen,
it's
so you know
also
it's my
bad.
boy. You know it's my boy.
You're capping for Rogan now.
Dude.
You're capping for Rogan.
Seth is my guy.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, watch it. It's great. Don't even worry about
Ofer.
I probably won't.
it. Coming in at number 7, more of a nostalgia for our era. Do you guys remember Billy Bob Thornton's Bad Santa?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're back.
That was
I'm here.
like-
I'm awake.
Yeah, that was a
That's a lulz movie.
raunchy movie.
That's a
man.
lulz movie,
Yeah.
especially for its time. Watching it now, it's kind of like irks.
Yeah, you're like between 18 and 25. You have no kids. You're
Yeah.
watching a movie at Christmas by
Okay,
yourself.
so far the only one with a heartfelt message was number 10.
I don't know if it gets better. Actually, it kind of does. Though that was okay. What are we on? 6 or is this 7?
Something like that.
6, I think.
6. We're at
your
6.
list is terrible.
We're at 6. I wrote numbers in on some of them, and then I started filling in blanks, and then all of a sudden there's no numbers, and I'm kind
You're
of
just like, I know this is number 3. I'll fill in the rest later.
I'm eyeballing it from my list now. But okay, coming in at number 6, this one might catch some heat because I know there's a lot of fucking dick riders for this movie. Elf. It's okay, but it's not the best one.
It's obligatory.
Obligatory.
That word.
Obligatory. Is
It
what
has to be on the list, but I would put it at like 26. But
I'm gonna
it has to be on the
consider
list.
Elf kind of like our conversation with Seinfeld, where it was like my opinion was it was great for the time. To rewatch it, it kind of bugs me only because like that personality, like Will Ferrell, like what got him famous, that personality just kind of bugs me. But back in the day, that was hilarious, man.
When it came out, I think it was like everyone thought it was the funniest movie ever, but I think that was like
I think when it came out, it was the funniest movie ever. Like,
like-
there was nothing better.
when I watch it now, the only part of the entire movie that makes me even exhale remotely out of my nostrils is literally the scene where she's singing in the shower and he just like joins in. That's the only funny part in the whole movie. The rest of the movie
Okay.
is just like him acting like a toddler, and you're like, this is a grown ass fucking
favorite
man.
part of that movie is what is it when he's like talking to the abominable snowman? Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Always love that because I say that to Caden sometimes. He's like, well, he has no idea what that even means. Or he's like, what do you mean?
Everyone just
Bye, buddy.
everybody that like hears you is like, what's wrong with this guy?
Hilarious, man.
But I've seen Elf on the top of like a lot of lists because I did a little bit of research, and honestly, like it's like I said, marginally funny. I think it's just like the most festive because it's like hyper festive. But like it's not that good of a movie. Sorry to break the news to you guys, but it only gets number 6, and that was me being nice. Honestly, I probably would have taken off the list if it wasn't for everyone else loving it.
It was a team effort.
Number 5, Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
That's a
for
good
that.
movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Okay.
That one's better than all of like the old version or like the newer animated version.
I think
like,
the newer animated they did a very good job. But like yeah, the Jim Carrey one, that's like probably one of my favorite ones.
I think they captured him being such a fucking troll. Like
yeah,
in that
like
movie.
his character fit that role very
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah,
And the whole story rounded out nicely.
yeah, absolutely. So that one of all the Grinches, because like the Grinch is just in general a great Christmas story. Of all the Grinches, I think that one was the best one.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 4. This is the one of the very few exceptions to what Kyle was saying that I agreed with. It's called A Year Without Santa Claus. And it's one of those old 1960s stop motion animation Christmas movies that's played on the TV every year since I was like 2 years old, probably well before that because it came out in like the 60s. But most people probably didn't know they were paying attention to memes from it because it just became
Is that what that movie's called?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my
is
favorite
that?
movie growing up.
Just literally like the
snow-
clay animation movie.
Yeah, it's one of them. There was also like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah.
Reindeer was one
okay.
as well.
Okay, I assumed it was all just one
That's
movie.
because they looked identical, same animation, probably the same kids. But this one actually, people like low-key started memeing it like over the last like year or so on TikTok because they started playing the Heat Miser and Snow Miser song. I can't remember what the actual title of that song is called. But they were doing it for like some like kind of like makeup trend thing that I saw. But honestly, that was like one of my favorite songs. That's one of my favorite movies growing up. And every Christmas, I would wait for that movie to play on TV, and that was my go-to.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's always been a movie that's playing during the holidays when you're in like the doctor's office or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the movie
Yeah.
that's playing.
Absolutely, it's one of those movies, 100%. Okay, coming. This top 3 is fire. I'm just saying, this top 3 is fire.
I gotta say, I'm impressed. This has been decent. I am more of a fan of your own personal list rather than your take on other people's lists. You're a good list maker.
Okay, so coming in at number 3, this movie's absolute fire. I don't know who could ever question this. Friday After Next. Ice Cube. It's the one's a ghetto Christmas where that dude's stealing all the Christmas presents and Cat Williams is
I
there.
barely remember anything about that movie.
That movie's
but it's
so
great.
good. It's so
It's
good.
great.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah.
I will for sure say I've never seen it.
What?
I am very
Kyle!
uncultured.
We gotta do the Friday thing.
I am very uncultured.
Damn, man.
Damn!
Damn!
You missed it.
It's Friday. You ain't got shit to do.
Oh, fuck. This thing shit my nose. Scared the shit out of me.
But I have heard from everybody that's ever made a list that brings that
Okay.
up that it's Friday, the actual movie, and then that one is amazing. So it is something I need to see.
So good.
Is it top 3? Is it better than all
Yes.
those other movies?
It's so fucking funny, dude.
It's great. Okay, well, I just okay. We'll move on. I was gonna try and shit talk all these, but so far I'm like, okay,
That's
give it to
because this was the list. Coming in at number 2, honestly, is a doubleheader because I didn't want to spam this list with 2 entries from the same franchise, but it's Home Alone 1 and 2.
I just watched those with Kaden.
They're
They're
great.
great.
They're
They're-
timeless.
Yeah, they're
They-
like I would say they're timeless.
I don't think they'll ever get old.
Number 3 doesn't even deserve to see the light of day. And apparently there's
Compared to number 3.
number 3 was
Yeah.
terrible because
I-
they just changed everything
they
about it and they
changed
just tried pushing it forward.
They changed the kid completely. I've seen 3.
It was horrendous, but they've just recently made a new one
I
too.
know. I don't
Yeah.
want to watch that because I've seen it's
Yeah.
like shot for shot, just a remake basically.
Oh, what?
Yeah, apparently they take all the same skits and same traps and they just recycle them.
But now there's a girl burglar.
I have, of course.
Really?
Of
So
course.
now it fits.
I have a theory
Wow.
that the world is
Equality.
actually on its way out. The world's like the entire universe is going to end soon. And so all of these people are like, okay, let's just spit out as much shit and regurgitate as many things as we can because everything's out. Like,
Right?
like we're on our way out.
Right? Like the giant AI computer that secretly took over the world and has just been forcing us to live this simulation to keep us happy so that we don't rebel against the computers. It just knows that what we like is remakes. It just keeps rehashing all the things that we have until it rehashes, and all of a sudden the rehashes start rehashing
And all of a sudden
us.
we have the metaverse.
and then we have the metaverse, and it's like, oh shit.
Okay, I want to hear this. I want to hear this top one, and then I want to talk about the metaverse for a little bit.
Okay. Number 1. Best Christmas movie all time. No questions asked. A Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton coming in hot. Don't give me
No.
that fucking look.
No.
What are
No.
you talking about?
I'm actually
What?
That was very anticlimactic.
What?
That wasn't
Very-
even on my list.
Yo, what?
I feel like the people who like that movie are like diehards. Like they'll murder you over that movie.
That movie's
Um,
great. What do you mean?
Yeah, I just don't think it's that good of a movie.
Wow.
I mostly consider that a Halloween movie.
Wow.
It has.
I would never watch
it's
that on
like, yeah,
Christmas.
I stole Santa and I did that, but he's a skeleton from Halloween Town.
Is that what it is?
Kyle-
He steals Santa?
Like,
Why
he-
are you talking about his race? Like, that's really fucked up, Kyle. It's a great movie. You don't have to be like that. Jesus.
He's white. It's
racist
okay.
skeleton?
He's
Is
a
he,
white
though?
skeleton, so it's
all
all
skeletons
good.
are white, Kyle. We're all
Yeah.
made equal.
It's
Except
taking
for
a
this
weird
list.
turn.
This is what Dustin does when he fucks up and he realizes it. He switches the subject immediately. He picked the worst top decision for his top 10. He had options. If he threw Grinch in there, it'd be like, okay, it might not be top, but it's good enough.
If he had
he
said
threw
The
an
Grinch
elf,
was the number 1 movie, I'd be like,
I'd be like,
I'll give that. I'll give your opinion.
I'd maybe
some
debate
credit.
it, but like, yeah, I could see what you're
Tim
saying. But
Burton.
Tim Burton.
You're
as the
lucky I
top
don't know how to
Christmas?
mute your mics from here because I would be telling you guys to shut the fuck
I
up.
need
Yet
to
again,
label
this
all
is
of these
his
because I
answer.
need that like. I'm not even gonna try. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So
That was it.
great.
That was the list. You all know it's fact. These guys are talking mad shit, but
okay.
let us know in the comments what you think. Give me your top 10
is
list.
Tim Burton the best Christmas movie of all time? Wow. Even saying that sounds weird.
Shut
Is
the
he-
fuck up. What the hell?
Is he better than Tim Allen as Santa Claus? No,
Yo.
he is.
Dude, that
No.
movie fucking...
How did you not even include that?
That movie
Jingle
sucks.
all the way.
It
What about that?
sucks.
What about Deck the Halls?
They
Deck the Balls.
suck.
Deck my balls.
No, those
They
are classics.
Suck, dude. They're not even funny. funny, dude.
Deck the Halls is a bit
National
weird, but
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Not that
yeah,
funny.
the
Yes,
only thing I
it
know
is.
from
It is
that
amazing.
movie is he really wanted like a pellet gun or something. That's like the only thing I know about
The
that
only
Okay.
thing I think
think
about that movie
different-
is how
Oh, that's a different
poorly
movie, isn't it?
Chevy Chase has aged and how he's this like embarrassing old fat guy on Community. Or
Yeah.
whatever it's
Yeah.
called. That's all I think of.
That's
He-
the only thing I
It's
like.
because
him
like
in.
his whole thing was about every humorous sketch he did, he falls and then he has to like retake it 10, 15 times, and he beat his body up so much that he just stopped moving. So he just got fat as shit. But that is a Christmas tradition in the Lorto household. Doesn't matter if you're in my house and my dad's house, we watch Christmas. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on Christmas Day. We just in the last like 2 years got off of the VHS because we brought out the VHS specifically for it.
I hate traditions. I actually like. I really if someone came up to my door, knocked on my door, showed me paperwork of like, here, if you sign the dotted line, you can change your name right now. Like, I would change my last name. Like, I don't give a shit about any tradition. I feel like we're so far advanced in society. We're at the turn of a century, and we're following these ideas that we've been doing for so long, and there's zero thought being put into most of them. And I fucking hate it.
I'm gonna back that. I'm gonna back that take, and I say I also dislike tradition because I think tradition is the opposite of change and growth.
Yeah, like, I understand, like, okay, so...
Kyle's puffing his chest. He's got feelings.
Yeah, so
Give
from
it- give
Kyle's
it-
perspective,
feeling.
I can... Like I can understand the connection of family and stuff like that. But I've been like with other families on Christmas Eve or something like that, and they have like big traditions where it's like everyone has to help out cooking food, but it's a very traditional food and no one really likes it that much. And it's just kind of like everyone has a task that they have to do in order to finish the food, in order to eat the food, and the food's not even that good. It's like really old school style food. But they're all just doing it because it's tradition. Where it's like, why are you guys doing this? Like, I don't know. I'm from a pretty small family and with not many traditions, so maybe I'm just like biased towards that. But I find traditions just bizarre.
So for me, both of you, your parents are together,
Y'all
right?
are fucked.
Yes.
Mine aren't. No.
No. Okay. So for me, having my parents split up, generally the only time that like kind of the same thing always happens is at Christmas. Because for my dad, National Lampoon's Christmas, we always have that. Whereas we don't always spend every single holiday together, and we never really have we don't have crazy shit like, oh, you gotta lick 3 spoons before you can have stuffing. We're not doing stupid shit like that. But like a tradition of just like getting up, like me and my dad used to get up early before everybody else, sit down, have our hot chocolate with Bailey's before I was allowed it, and watch some TV, wait for the Christmas gifts, and then go from there. Or like for me, I like to make breakfast every Christmas morning. So I'll have my family come over, I'll make a big breakfast, and then we start our day. Just having the little traditions where it just brings the family together, because I don't have a family that really gets together.
I understand the idea of like a tradition as a placeholder for an excuse to have like connection with family members and stuff like that, right? Like doing the same thing over and over, where that's not the actual focal point. That's just the reason to bring people together. Like I totally understand things like that. It makes sense. But yeah, doing things continuously over and over with just like with the pure purpose of doing it only because you've already done it, that just drives me crazy. I think it's slightly related. Actually, it's completely related. The only tradition that I really remember on Christmas from my family was my dad used to wait as long as he possibly could before he would even go out of his room. And I fucking hated it. And like, he was just like, trolling, right? It was
Yeah.
like dad on Christmas, just being lazy. But he would just like, he'd push it.
That one year you like kind of need something, but he's just so stuck on trying to show you guys how long he can
Yeah.
stay.
I fucking hated it.
That's a tradition of being an asshole, though. Like, Christmas is like the happiest day of the year, and you're gonna be a dick immediately before you even wake up. You're ruining your kid's Christmas.
I hated it, man.
I
Yeah.
understand why you don't like tradition. I would never do anything.
Okay, so to Kyle's credit,
I'd burn down the house. Honestly, I would burn it down.
I'll say not all traditions are made equally. Absolutely. There's definitely a line where some traditions are fun and festive, like Kyle's talking about, and then there's some traditions that, they need to, amend the law for civil rights. There's some things like that where tradition wasn't such a great idea. So there's a big spectrum. I think generally tradition is bad. just overall, but not specifically to Christmas. I think there's definitely a lot of little traditions, like things you do on Christmas with your family, that are totally chill and kind. I mean, that sounds annoying as shit. I get that.
Yeah, I'm trying to like think of other things that happened in my childhood.
I would say
I'm trying to calm my heartbeat down from thinking of if my family tried to do that to me, of like what might happen.
The other memory I'm remembering now that I'm trying to think of like other things we did around Christmas. This was actually I'm glad I remembered this. But every year my dad would try and trap Santa. So he would go up on the roof and he would just hang, like, I'm sure he was probably just smoking joints and like drinking beer up on the roof or something like that. But he would just walk around up on the roof and he'd be up there for a while and it would always be like, this is the year. This is the year I've got the ultimate trap for him. And there's no way he's getting out of it. And it's like, Dad, no, you can't catch Santa. No way. And it was kind of fun to see if he would actually catch him.
That's fucking
Of course
awesome.
he never did.
I'm doing that from now on. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, right?
get
So
your-
that was fun.
go smoke on the roof. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually
More than
sounds-
likely, right?
Well, that's,
Like, what else
That's
would he be
kind of
doing?
like the Elf on the Shelf shit, like where you're like, oh no, hey, we can't touch the elf. Nobody touched the elf because otherwise his magic's gone. And then in the morning, look, he's up here. He did this crazy thing. How can we believe that happened? And then every kid's like, holy shit, how'd he do it?
See, that I understand that type of tradition because it also has a natural lifespan where it's kind of like the magic is born and then it kind of lives throughout the years and then it kind of has this natural death to it and then people move on, right? Or kids grow up. But yeah, to be doing like if one specific thing happened once and we've been doing it every year for the past 50 years because of that one time, that I find stupid. Like, yeah.
Like one person gets a dirty fork every year because one time it happened and it's it
it fell on the floor and the dog stepped on it or something like that and it was super funny. So now it's like every single year and it's like, what the fuck, man?
That's
just like I
stupid
feel
as
like
hell.
to take it even deeper. I find like Easter and Christmas and most holidays, those are just traditions and they're just bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Before I had a kid, it was like I couldn't be bothered. Like Christmas is just fucking stupid.
I love stuffing. So every holiday I have multiple dinners.
I was one of the people that went out of their way to work on Christmas because like everyone else wants to. It's like I'm just gonna make money, man. Fuck all this. Now that I have a kid, it's like okay, no, I see the magic that he sees through it, and I'm kind of like okay, let's make it a little bit special for him, and that kind of brings in the joy back to me. So it's like it's kind of fun being festive.
Well,
but I don't give a shit.
Most of these holidays, if not all of these holidays, are just some like Christmas tradition, or sorry, some Christian tradition.
Yeah, pagan holidays basically for children.
And I'm sitting here like, I ain't religious. I don't give a shit about most of the meanings behind these special days. And yeah, you know, you look at like we live like right next door to a church, a pretty big one. Yeah, and these holidays, like they're going crazy over there. We live in a very religious town here.
Yeah,
but
okay, so like Easter.
nah.
Easter is this huge tradition. No one knows what the fuck it is.
I don't give a shit.
No, it's like it's geared towards children and it's like just bunnies shit out chocolate eggs. That's really
Hundreds
cool.
of years ago, bunnies were really hard to find.
Yeah.
And they had to teach the children how to find them. And
they
this
used
is
to
the one
shit
day that they
chocolate.
would come out. So
Yeah.
that's how you did it.
So like that's fucked. Like I just find that insane that we live in this society where we're just like pushing these agendas that are like completely make believe and like they don't even reference the original tradition. Like that's bizarre.
I like the idea.
The original tradition is almost more bullshit than finding chocolate bunnies.
Yeah, actually, and then that comes down to like it's just trying to capitalize on this thing where it's like okay, it was like super Christian and like there was this belief system behind it, and then it's like okay, how do we transition that to make sure that it's like sustainable into the future in case
places like Hallmark still need to make a profit.
Yeah, yeah. How do we make this more?
Yeah, how do we turn
applicable?
this into a business?
Yeah.
This is no longer a hobby. It's a business.
All of a sudden,
Easter,
Santa's owned by Coca-Cola.
With Easter, I like the idea of like when you have a bunch of kids, like my parents have so many grandkids at this point. It's like a little army of kids. It's fun for them to like set up like an Easter egg hunt because there's so many kids that have to participate because they're all part of the family. But like you said, I don't have kids. It's just me and my lady living here. If I had chocolate around the house, it would stay there all year because she'd be like, why didn't you just put it in a bowl on the table? Why do I have to go over there just to get one? I don't even care about it that much. I don't like chocolate
Just goes to the
that much.
store and buys chocolate herself.
Yeah, she's
Easier.
like, she's like, fuck you. Go find your own chocolate. Hope you remember where you put it all.
Yeah.
Don't want to get ants. No, I have to go out here trying to remember. Nah, it's such a waste of time. Honestly, the thing with Easter too, it's like, oh, you know, removing myself from even that part. what if I don't really want a day where I just binge on chocolate, like, you know, a mother trying to lose weight, and then all of a sudden you just have that one day where you have to eat a pound of chocolate? I can't eat that much chocolate.
This shit ain't about you. This is about me. This is about us. We all get together. We eat our Thanksgiving dinner. We eat our turkey dinner on Easter. We have our fucking breakfast at Christmas. If you don't want to eat chocolate, don't eat the chocolate.
Kyle is a man of values. Dustin.
Yes.
Don't fuck with his values.
If a tradition is for everybody, if you don't want to be a part of it, don't be a part of it. If somebody hides a bunch of chocolate and you're like, I don't want to eat chocolate, don't find the chocolate. Let somebody else find the
He's got
chocolate.
a great point.
This is all easily stopped.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. It's fine.
From traditions, I understand the idea of, again, using it as an excuse to get all of these kids together and like a little family moment where all of these kids get to go out and look for chocolate. Parents kind of get to hang out too, watch the kids. Everyone has a good time on that one day. I understand that. That's a nice understanding of what traditions are. But yeah, what bugs me is you take it a step before that of like, why are we doing it in the first place? Like, what the fuck? The fact that it's here and it's an excuse to do it, okay, I get it. That's kind of cool. But man, why? Why?
Waste of time.
I can 100% see why anybody that's not white would have a problem with every single like holiday that we have. None of them are really based on good things for anybody else. But for me, it just
when you say white, do you mean Christian or do you specifically mean white people?
Like realistically,
I mean, like, there's a
white people
lot
made
of
most
Christians
of
that
the
aren't white.
white people made most of the stupid reasons for having them. Like Thanksgiving, it's obviously a terrible holiday. It's not. It's based
Actually,
off
with
of
Thanksgiving, white people didn't do.
Which did we not have the dinner?
Didn't the natives brought the peace offering, wasn't it?
Yes, and then we fucked them up. We did something terrible and ruined that peace offering. That's what I'm saying. We're celebrating the day that we did something terrible.
A date of colonization.
Yeah, it's a terrible day, and we're like, no, but we didn't do that till after we all ate dinner. We all had a real happy dinner, so let's keep that part.
Well,
Let's
they didn't want the
forget
food
about
to
the
get
rest.
cold.
I feel like it's the
Kyle.
opposite. I feel like it's like we just destroyed everything in your community forever. But hey, let's have some dinner.
Exactly.
We'll feed you a little bit. And
Exactly.
it's
So
okay.
I can 100% see why anybody that was on the other side of the literal table is like, I don't want to celebrate this day.
Yeah.
And I get that.
We destroyed your entire people's culture. But hey, every year you get a turkey.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I feel like by bringing it back to this whole like historical thing, we took this to a really dark
And
place.
this is what I'm
I know,
saying.
right?
And it's really
This is
fucked
why
up.
I'm saying, don't look into it. Just eat your damn meal. Eat your meal, drink your beer,
All
have a
Kyle's
couple
saying
joints, and keep going.
Is he likes to get buzzed and eat a turkey dinner. That's what Kyle's trying to say.
And
Ignore
yes.
all the marginally offensive things that kind of came from that conversation.
Okay.
The one thing though I will kind of bring back to what you said earlier though, if traditions are like, yeah, we're eating this, I'm not talking about the turkey or the mashed potatoes, but like say your mom makes this like whatever pie and it's fucking vile. If it's tradition that she has to slave over this pie and we have to eat this pie to humor her, maybe that was cool when whoever made the pie the first time and liked it was alive, but they're not anymore.
Yeah. How do you
Or-
transition out of traditions?
Yeah, it takes like 25 years of pent up anger and one day of somebody just
Honest.
freaking out, and the mom's like,
Snap.
I don't like this pie either. I thought you guys loved it. I don't even like baking.
But you know what? Some parents are delusional. Like my parents, sometimes they're still like, do you want this thing? Ew, fucking no. What do you mean? You've always... No, I fucking didn't. What are you talking about? My parents have been trying to convince me that I like mushrooms since I was like 7. Like as long as I
man.
can remember. I've never fucking liked mushrooms. I
My
still don't.
fucking mom to this day, every time, maybe not every time, but like if it's like the casual situation where it's like, hey, going to the store, hey, can you grab me a chocolate bar? My fucking favorite chocolate bar my entire life has been cookies and cream. I love it. She gets me like fucking O. Henry's or like just some random bullshit like Kit Kat or like the chocolate bars that my dad likes and my mom likes. That's what she gets me, and I fucking hate it. So mom, I fucking want cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream, no
not
matter
O.
what.
Henry's.
What
C's
are...
and C's.
Do you guys have any traditions that were in your family that we haven't already mentioned? Because obviously the sleeping in one's, or not even sleeping, hiding in your room one's kind of troll. Do you have any other traditions that you either hated or were just like just weird that other people probably don't have?
See, I don't think so. I didn't. Again, like I had a pretty small family, so we really didn't have too many traditions. The one nice thing, like what I do like about Christmas, is it doesn't matter about the chaos before Christmas Day or the chaos that happens after Christmas Day. Christmas Day is always a nice day. And that's the one thing I like. So I guess a tradition that I like about Christmas is it's the one day where you just kind of hang out and
Be in a good mood.
yeah, and just have zero expectations, right?
That only happens when you have a small family, not when you have a big family and everyone's got passive aggressive energy.
Right? Yeah, so that's my tradition. The one time a year where I just get to like enjoy quality time with my family.
Kyle, go ahead.
Pretty much the same. Like I don't really have that many bad. I don't really have bad traditions. Maybe I don't look for them and I just don't see them because I just love Christmas, so I just ignore all the bad parts. But I guess the closest would be before we had the girls, because obviously both of our parents are split up. So Christmas morning, we wake up 7:30, 8, get our stockings, have breakfast, probably around 9:30, 10. It's fucking Hot Wheels time. We're driving to this place. We're going to the this, out to Burnaby to the other side of the family. And like 4 or 5 o'clock, we finally get to the last spot. And it's like a sit down, and now it's like, okay, I can have my drinks, I can have my relax. Those were stressful years. It was like, I love Christmas, and once I get to each location, it was like fantastic. I'm all about the party, but then not having any drinks while I'm there and just socializing sober all day on my day, my favorite day, and I'm being sober for the entire time. I feel like it's all about liquor for me. I'm hearing a trend as I say this, and there's a reason most of my family gets sobriety chips every year.
A new one every year because you got drunk on Christmas again. Everyone shows up to Christmas with like 1 year.
That's my tradition.
Oh, throw it into a fountain somewhere.
They play fucking coins.
Yeah, there it is.
Quarters.
Oh man,
that's too much. Okay, so kind of going on my part of that question. So like I said, I kind of have like a relatively big family, at least compared to most people.
You guys own a street, basically.
I mean, yeah, there's like 3 houses on the same road, but regardless, so I have.
Wait, your mom owned like a literal van, didn't she? Like
that's my
like
sister.
A bus. Oh, okay.
My sister,
yeah, that's
she has
what,
like it's like a shuttle bus from like an airport. It's like the same thing.
That's how we used to get to and from Vancouver.
Yeah, we used to like get the boys. We'd go to Vancouver and that, and I would just like shuttle everybody to and from the club.
I know you did that for me once.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
It was great.
We had a great time that night.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. It was wild. Anyways, so I have my parents. I have 3 sisters, and amongst those 3 sisters, I have like 6 nephews, a niece, and like 3 or 4 other kids, depending on who my other sister's dating at the time. And they that was pretty rude, to be honest. It's been pretty consistent, like the same kids for the bulk of my life. I'm just kind of talking shit. I thought it was funny.
I love it. I love it.
Kidding.
It was only a couple shots.
It was mostly only the same 2 kids for years. Now there's like 3, I think. But regardless, so there's kids from that family, because that's the other thing. Depending on who's in our lives, we bring all of the families. So like my one sister, she lives with her friends, and they kind of have their own family out there. They bring everybody, and then my 2 other sisters, they have all their kids and everything, and so like everybody come to. Sometimes there's like 15 to 20 people in the house, and so Christmas for me
that is so stressful.
Is exhausting.
Yeah,
exhausting. So this idea of, first off, the one tradition I was going to bitch about is that I have to be there right at 6 a.m. What the fuck, Mom? Never happening. Like, I always have an excuse of why I can't be there at 6 a.m.
Yeah, because you went to bed at 4:30.
They've been, like, texting me all morning. The kids are up. When are you coming? Like, now they just kind of, like, start shit without me because I'm just like, I'm not coming for 6 a.m. Like, it's just not a thing. I know that I probably started that tradition because I was that kid I was the baby of the family. I would wake up at 6 a.m. on Christmas and be like, yo, give me these fucking presents, bitch. Yeah. Like, I was like aggressive. I would like run into their room and like drop an elbow on my parents to wake them up on Christmas morning. Like, I was definitely that kid.
You've turned into much more of a brunch guy.
Yeah, definitely. And so me getting to my parents' house, I'm like, yeah, I know it's like 11:30, guys, but like it's still Christmas morning. Like, give me some OJ and a bagel, like whatever. But it's exhausting. The kids are so fucking loud. It's usually cold, so none of them are playing outside. They're all in the living room. They all want to fight me because I'm the heavyweight champion of our family, and I'm just like, I'm going to dummy all of you, but now I'm gonna break a sweat because there's like 8 of you fighting me at once. It's tough. My oldest nephew's in college too, so like I can't really fight him anymore, and he doesn't usually take my side because of all the years of abuse that I've given him. But like, it's the loudness and the obnoxious amount of children that my sisters have brought into this world.
I can't believe there's so many people in my house that just want to play with me and see me the entire day. They just want to feed me, give me gifts, and give me love. They just enjoy my presence.
So
it's so exhausting.
I'm such an asshole.
Having everybody love me.
I mean, okay,
This
so here's my
fucking
experience.
boy.
So I'm from a pretty small family, and there's been years where I'm like with a much larger family for Christmas. And it's very stressful for me. Like, it's like I enjoy being quiet. I enjoy like eating my dinner. I enjoy quality time with family where we're not expected to talk to each other. I don't mean like you're over there, I'm over here, don't talk to me, right? But it's like it's nice just having that solitude with your family in the same room as you. That's what I enjoy. But when I go to families, really big families, and everyone's talking to each other, and then the focus turns to me of why I'm not participating in their actions of like, oh, why are you so quiet? Oh, like, is everything okay? Are you enjoying your food? Is your food okay? And it's like, please stop this, take this attention off of me. I'm enjoying this food. I'm enjoying listening to all of you, and I'm in a pretty happy place. But now I'm perceived as the negative person, and I'm perceived as the Grinch because I'm not
Because you're the Grinch.
as much as everyone else, right?
And now your anxiety spiking because 12 people are just looking at you.
Literally.
Everyone stops their side conversation, even though there's like 5 side conversations, because that one person on the other side of the table said something. All side conversations stop, and everyone just looks at you.
Just a shift.
And you know what? That's definitely happened to my girlfriend. And that's the other reason why she has a hard time with big family.
Yeah.
Because she also has a relatively small family. So compared to my family, it's like literally obnoxious.
Yeah.
I can totally understand why that's just like the worst.
Just thinking about it gives me anxiety. But then it's like
the worst.
to decline things like that. Again, I'm perceived as the person who doesn't enjoy Christmas. And it's like, I love Christmas. It's fun. It's fun being with other people. But if you're going to expect me to behave and act a certain way on that day in order to be able to participate, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's also frustrating. Just expectations in general. Those kind of expectations are frustrating.
See, I take them from everybody. I hope that people like you guys show up so that there's 2 people not talking and not getting in my way of being the center of attention. The second somebody starts talking to you and I see you being uncomfortable, I'll just take them away and start talking about whatever the entire day. It's a fight
come over here,
between
come check out my rock collection.
It's my
me,
day. Where's
my dad,
turkey?
and my kids. I have to fight all of them to get the attention. My kids take it all now. People don't even say hi to me anymore, and I have to like really bring it out to get people to talk. But yeah, I completely see what you guys are saying. It's annoying when somebody puts you into the position, but like when people like you're there, it's like, okay, that person can sit, chill, have some drinks, do whatever. I'm gonna be right here. I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
I feel like other people, like, again, talking from my own experience, when other people see me not enjoying the festives as much or in the same way that they are, that's what bugs me, where it's like, can you please leave me alone?
Yeah.
I'm here. That means I'm enjoying myself. If I wasn't enjoying this, I would not be here.
Someone at work the other day asked me, "Oh my God, did you set up your Christmas tree?" And I was like, "I don't do a Christmas tree. Why would I put a Christmas tree in here for just me and my lady?
For Christmas.
No, it's a lot. This was the
It's
first
such a
year.
pain in the
This was the
ass.
first year I ever bought a Christmas tree
It's
for
such a
my
pain in the
apartment, and I
ass.
was so
We're
pissed
getting
about
a
it.
second one, and we've got a little one for the kids, and we got one for their grandma so that they can make it with them. You guys just don't like happiness. Christmas just makes me feel happy. I look at the tree, I turn in the lights, and it's like,
See, this is what I really think of when it's the holidays, especially as like a dad. In order for my son to be able to enjoy it, I have to be this scheduling gatekeeper of like, okay, now we have to be over here, and now we have to be over here, and now we have to be over here. And it's just this nonstop organizational chaos of like, yeah, this isn't for me, it's for my son. And that's really stressful, where it's like, I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to see my son see all this magic and enjoy himself so much. But in order for him to be able to do that, it's a lot of work from my perspective, right? And that's the part that also is like, oh man, it's just
so much work.
Yeah.
And I know that my family has a big ass Christmas tree and all the presents are under the tree and they did all that work because they love it. Why would I set that up here? We're not having Christmas at my house. That's so much to clean up, especially if you get a real tree. The one time we got a real tree here, the amount of shit I had to sweep up off the floor every single day. We have 3 cats, and all these motherfuckers would climb that shit for days. They would eat the fucking leaves. Like, it would just be terrible.
Yeah.
And it's such a pain in the ass.
Here's a tradition. Actually, I feel like most people from like the 90s will probably have this general tradition. But you go out and find the perfect Christmas tree to cut down.
A lot of people do that.
You do that at all when you were younger?
I used to, but Brittany is her friend once had a real Christmas tree and they brought it in the house and there was a spider nest in it and Brittany's terrified of spiders. So we can't ever have a real Christmas tree again.
But yeah,
so I love what you're saying.
So yeah, and also so my mom's birthday is December 14th. Which was actually yesterday. So happy birthday, Mom. But we always
missed it.
You're getting this message on Christmas
a week later.
But yeah, no. So our a tradition would December 14th, we would always go out and find like the perfect Christmas tree. It was kind of fun, right? It's like, oh wow, like let's find the perfect one. But then as the years go on and Christmas trees keep getting more expensive, and then it kind of becomes tedious, and it's just like, okay, we've been out here for an hour. Christmas trees are twice the cost that they used to be, but hey, we get a free cup of hot chocolate. Ooh, wow.
Sick.
And we're still looking for a stupid tree just to be able to get it in the house, right? And then it became this thing where it's like, oh, okay, now we have to do it every year, and it's this thing that keeps happening, and I don't even know if anyone's really enjoying it, but it's just to get over it kind of thing, right? To get past it because we have to do it.
I would do a fake tree. I do a half tree. If anyone's ever had a half tree, it takes up so much less space because you don't have to worry about the whole backside decorating that you never even see, or all that empty space because it's a square and it's a circle.
I'm thinking of like a muffin and you peel the top off, and I'm like, why the fuck would you do a half tree?
No, it's like
I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like,
just cross section.
It was like,
yeah. That sounds like the stupidest tree ever.
a flat back.
If you cut the bottom off, that's still a tree, Dustin. What do you mean? This isn't adding up. The math's not here.
A weird tree with just like a flat top.
Yeah.
We put our coffee on it. It's underneath our
It's just it's more progressive, you know.
No, like a half. It's like down
I get you now.
Flat on one side, round on the other.
Yeah,
you put it up against the wall, and then you can just decorate the front of it, put things under it, and it takes up less space. It's clean. It's easy. If I was gonna do a tree, that's what I would do. But honestly, like I said, we don't even. It's so much easier to go to my parents' house or whatever, see their tree that they put work into, and then leave when we want to. And
wow.
Like, oh, yeah,
so nice.
No cleanup necessary. We're great. Like that's we're doing just fine. The one this is back to Easter though. The one tradition that we had in my family that was kind of weird, and it was only really relative to me, was so when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And it's one of those things that like it kind of affected me when I was a kid, but it doesn't really. I don't think I even have epilepsy anymore. It's like a weird thing that somehow you can grow out of it. I don't know. But apparently my mom had it when she was younger. She grew out of
epilepsy is a weird thing.
And I had it when I was a kid. I don't have it anymore. But one of the things that the doctors told me when I was going through my recovery and like treatment for it, was that I wasn't supposed to have certain things like caffeine. And so because I wasn't supposed to have caffeine, that meant I didn't eat dark, like milk chocolate for a good portion of my childhood at all. So what do you do on Easter? Well, my tradition, my parents always made my Easter basket for me, was that I got pizza Pringles.
What?
And you know what? I still fucking love pizza Pringles to this day. That's like one of my favorite chips ever. But it's so weird and random that like, who else? I mean, I'm sure there's some like dairy-free kid out there that's got a similar kind of tradition.
I'm sure in the 21st century,
there's tons of people that can't have dairy these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like a weird
kale
thing
under your bed or something.
Yeah, that might be like a big reason why you don't really feel that same nostalgia, because like at Christmas time you probably didn't have an advent calendar either. So you have like, even though it's a tiny little insignificant chocolate, but like every single morning you get a chocolate. You're not supposed to have chocolate in the morning, but it's Christmas, so you get that little thing. So I think that's what I'm doing. I'm forcing my kids to love it.
Behind holidays is directly related to how much work your parents put in when you're kids. That's what I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Sorry, future kids.
yeah. So like for me, like I don't care that much about these holidays. Again, traditions are just stupid, but it's nice being able to have my son see that magic. So it's like I'll put that work into it, right? And hopefully he can kind of carry that forward with his son. But like, yeah, man, I feel like it's trying to think of like all three of our childhoods and like how we came to be with our own opinions. It really seems to make sense. Where like more than likely, your parents were probably really into Christmas and they put in a lot of work into like the festivities of it all, right?
You only have one brother too.
It was very chaotic. But yeah, it was only one brother, but it was a lot of, I think the main thing is that we always traveled to different houses on Christmas. So we'd go to the grandma's, we go to this grandpa, we go there. So it was a lot of I see my entire family that day, whereas I don't normally see them all like as often as I did. So I think that's my main one, is just being able to see family.
Yeah. And Matt, did you have siblings, or is it just you?
I have one younger sister, which like, man, I rarely talk to her. It's not even a thing where it's like we don't like each other or anything like that. It's just like we rarely ever speak. She moved out to the East Coast and she was doing she's I think finished by now, but doing her master's degree out there. And yeah, she's doing a lot for herself, but I just never talked to her. And then I've got like my grandpa on my dad's side. He lives in Toronto. I think I have maybe talked to him maybe 4 times in my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
then
fair.
like my aunt on my mom's side, I've seen her a handful of times throughout my life, but again, not that much. Like she lives in the States. It's always like a big ordeal in order to see each other, right? So it's only been a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my family is pretty spaced out and we don't connect very often.
That's fair. I have like a decent amount of extended family like in the Okanagan, but I have enough family at home because like I said, parents, 3 sisters, and my oldest sister has had at least one child since I was 10 years old. So there's been grandkids as well since I was 10 years old. And every other year there's another one for a while there. So like I said, we're up to like, including my other sister too, we're up to like 6, I think.
Yeah, every
7.
Christmas card had a +1 at the bottom of it.
6 boys, 1 girl. So that's how many grandkids are there now. So like for me, it's been exhausting. Family get-togethers are exhausting.
And you've never really liked kids. Like you're not as in you hate them, but like you've never been kids, dogs, pets. Like they've never really been your thing.
You know what's funny though? It's only because my family's so obnoxious. Because they're so
That's probably
loud.
what yeah.
My cats fucking sucked growing up. My dogs sucked growing up. They all were terrible. You know what? I've coached, some kids in football as an adult, and they were really nice kids. I've met some really nice kids from my friends and stuff, and I've thought, you know what? I do like kids. And
when people specifically go out of their way to tell you that they don't like children, I trust those people less. It's like why wouldn't you like a fucking ignorant moron?
I'm not a big fan of like toddlers because they just scream.
Yeah,
but like
just incoherent.
Yeah, but like I don't mind kids. Like I said, I've coached kids in football and I've met kids that are really nice. It's just, I'm gonna take a little bit of accountability and say my nephews are obnoxious because they learned from me and I'm obnoxious. So like I'm not blaming my family. I am definitely at fault for them being little assholes too, because I was an asshole and I set the example. I was a dickhead football player, so now they're dickhead football players. I was the example. They are carbon copies of me. Full accountability. I apologize to my sisters for the record.
Looking at these kids like, you guys are assholes, man.
Honestly, I walk in their house and I cheer, "You're shit. You're trash." And I'm like,
1 in 5 pussy.
I hear all those things. That's a hilarious video. I remember that the other day. But yeah, so definitely some accountability there. I caused a lot of it. But my animals at home sucked until I met my lady, and she has 3 cats that are like the most like well-behaved cats I've ever seen. I didn't like animals either. And now I'm sitting here, I'm like a weird fucking cat dad. Yeah. And I'm like sharing cat memes and taking pictures of cats all the time.
Yeah, speaking of dog, like we got to wrap it up, but I got one story I want to share. So like, you know how when people say like if you're not a dog person, like if a dog feels uncomfortable around you, it's an untrustworthy person or something like that, right? So I've been attacked by like 2 different dogs as a kid. My sister was bitten across the face. And like literally I remember I was walking.
Yeah, smell funny.
Right? I was walking down the road one day and I was a kid, like pretty young. And all of a sudden I see this dog like foaming at the mouth, and it's just like, oh shit, like this is about to get bad. And I just remember just running for my life, and this dog, like rabid dog, was chasing me. And I like, all of a sudden this guy comes around the corner, like complete stranger, and he's like, hey, get in. I had no idea who it was. I'm this small child. I just hopped into someone's van and literally like closed the door, and the dog like right there instantly. Like I would have been just demolished if this dog had gotten me, if that guy hadn't been there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like actually really crazy. And then years later, or maybe years before, but my sister was bitten across the entire face, and like had to get pretty big stitches across her whole head, because a dog had bitten her. And it was like the dog was injured. The dog had gotten hit by a car a few days before, and the owners didn't know it was our neighbor's dog. So she just went to pet him, and the dog freaked out, bit her, right? But because of all of this past animal trauma I've had, I'm like uncomfortable around dogs, and not in the sense of like, oh no, I'm scared you're gonna attack me, but it's just like, hey, I acknowledge you, you acknowledge me, I see you, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Kind of thing,
We don't
right?
have to be friends.
Yeah, but it's like, I love dogs. They're adorable. I love petting them. They're just full of love. But I feel like dogs can sniff me out when I'm uncomfortable around them. Like it's really is true. Like it's most dogs, when I'm around them, they just kind of eye me up, and like they come up and they sniff me, and they treat me differently than the other people, and it's like, you're perpetuating my fear of you. Like, you're making this more awkward than it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm definitely more chill now, but like when I was younger and jaded, and it's not that I wasn't even like I hated dogs, I just didn't care for dogs. I'd be like the guy that'd be like, your dog would like come up to like try and get pets or something, and I would just be like on my phone, and it's like, and I'm just like ignoring it. I'm
No,
like,
I had a family dog when
happening.
I was young. He grew up with me, and then when he got older, he bit a little girl in the back, and then my dad had to put him down.
oof.
And that was also traumatic. So
Yeah.
so then it's like all of my experiences with dogs are like just don't have happy endings.
That's
so I'm
terrible.
gonna take
Yeah.
the note to put the dogs away next time I have you over. It's like they definitely just run at you and bark like crazy and jump at your feet.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that,
those are
they're
just
they're
little
tiny
guys.
enough, but
But yeah, straight up. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, that was our Christmas discussion today, guys.
got a little sad at the end. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you just started talking about animals. I'm like, oh,
That's how we're
I
gonna
hate
end,
dogs.
end our Merry Christmas. This video will probably come out around Christmas time, despite it being like a week away now.
Yeah, should be Christmas Day.
But we appreciate you guys sticking around, and we hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I hope you take an hour away from your family to watch this instead of be with them. Thanks.
Or throw it on for them too on the TV.
Also, shout out to the Christmas sweaters. I would have worn mine, but your boy sweats if he wears any Christmas shirt. So
Yeah, if the sleeve goes under the elbow, it's not going on, Dustin.
Yeah.
yeah, the only sweater I actually wear on a regular basis is about as thin as a t-shirt anyway. So.
Yo, this sweater, I got this before I had Caden. And it was back in my bah humbug days. So like, fuck Christmas, right? And I get this like Xmas is canceled shirt, and I would just walk around like all holiday season. This is like my main sweater, and I just get looks like, oh no, don't say that. I'm like, you know it, baby.
I feel like I'm Cindy Lou Who sitting beside two Grinches. Like, this is crazy. I've never felt like the happy person in a group.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, we rehired Kyle back, so he's back.
Yeah, I made the cut.
Yeah.
He's on probation.
He's back on probation.
All right. If you like what you're watching, please subscribe, give it a like. It makes a really big difference. And other than that, I think we're all good here.
Until next time.
All right. Take care, guys.